Welcome back to the channel, Black is One, where the agenda is to unify and edify the black race so we can build and prosper. Anything I discuss on this channel is because I think it can edify and elevate and unite our people. So in one of my previous videos, I drew on the Kanye and Kyrie situation and took some quotes from Marcus Garvey to make a point that we need to adopt a ownership mentality as a race, that we need to have self-reliance and black economic independence as our ultimate goal, regardless of the field that we find ourselves in or wherever we find ourselves in the world, whether we are rich or we are quote-unquote poor. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you a clip of what I understand to be some white miners in Burkina Faso destroying some mining equipments, and why videos like these are important evidence, important data to assist our black unification and black elevation project. This video contains further evidence, I believe, as to why, as a race, we need to own our stuff. So I'm going to show you the video, and then I'm going to come back and give you some context, a bit of important history, and tell you, like I said, what to do with the data. What next? How should we respond to videos like these? So here we go.
Oui, c'est ça que moi, c'est ce que je te disais là, non? C'est ce que je te disais, non? Good job.
Now what you're looking at in this video are some miners, white miners, private miners, foreign investors if you will, in Burkina Faso destroying some vehicles. I downloaded this clip from YouTube, and in the caption they said that they were destroying mining equipments. So there may have been other equipments apart from the vehicles that were destroyed, who knows. I guess the question that is on your mind right now is, why would someone be deliberately destroying their own equipments or their own vehicles? Well, Burkina Faso is an African country that was under the control of France, French oppression or French colonization, same thing, for 64 years. From France invaded it in 1896 until they got political independence in 1960. Now, in order to gain independence, two of the conditions they were forced to agree to were that going forward, number one, France would get the first preference to mine all minerals in the country. And two, French companies should get first preference to build any infrastructure in the country. So what was happening in the country, even in 2022, was that even though France is out, quote unquote out, in the sense that you don't see white men in Burkina Faso running the government, they were still in control. They still had the people under duress. Now, there are other clauses, about 15, that were imposed on the people. And not only Burkina Faso, but all the French colonies in Africa, in order for them to keep their quote-unquote independence. But I'd have to do a separate video on that. You can tell me in the comments if you want me to do a video on the different clauses that these former French colonies in Africa were forced to sign in order for them to keep their independence. Anyway, these conditions, as you can imagine, benefit France, not the people of Burkina Faso. This is one of the reasons why Africa, that has the most natural resources in the world, remains so poor, because of countries like France and these extortionist policies that they force on the African people. Well, the Burkinabés, that's what they call the citizens of Burkina Faso, they endured these exploitation for the last 72 years. But in September of 2022, a brother by the name of Captain Ibrahim Traoré and his forces took over the government and decided to shake things up. I imagine that they were saying that after 136 years of France's, what I call extortion, 136 years, they want to run the country for the benefit of the people of Burkina Faso and not for the benefit of France. That is 2,352 miles away. So part of his plan to make the economy benefit the people is to take over the mining rights from foreigners and place it in the hands of the people, the government. Obviously, the foreigners were not happy. So what did they do? Well, I can't tell you what kind of conversation, if any, they had with the new government. But they decided that they were going to leave. But instead of, say, selling the assets to the government or something, they decided that if they can't have their way, they were going to destroy the equipments. Now, this is all my deduction from what I saw in the video, but I think I am right. You know why? Because it's France's modus operandi. It's how they operate. It's their history with the African people. They did the same thing in Guinea in 1958. That is why I say that we need to consult with our history so we can recognize our friends from our enemies, so that we can prevent the same things from happening to us over and over again. The black man in the video, the worker, is clearly shocked. He's experiencing a very rude reality check. He was confused as to why somebody would do that. Clearly, it seems as if he's getting his first personal taste of the white establishment's mentality towards black people. He's behaving like somebody who has been hearing stories about what they did in the past, but now he's witnessing it for the first time, firsthand. You can imagine that he has been working with these guys for years and could never tell in his wildest dream that it was even in the hearts of these quote-unquote good and loving white people, the savior of the human race, to do such things. But I was not surprised. I guess it's because I studied them and how they behave with other races, especially black people. In 1958, when the first president to be of Guinea, Ahmed Sékou Touré, rejected a constitution proposed by France that would give them a kind of semi-independence, quote-unquote autonomy under France. Touré rejected that constitution and instead demanded full independence. France went crazy. So they decided to teach Guinea a lesson. France decided that if they can't have their way in the country, if the government would not accept colonization, they would destroy everything that they had built. They decided to destroy the economy and the infrastructure of the country out of spite, just so that the newly independent Guinea would have to start everything from scratch. I read a Washington Post article on the subject, and it said basically that France put an embargo or sanctions on Guinea to prevent them from dealing with any other country to develop their military or to develop their economy. They prevented them from borrowing any loans and went even further to flood the country with counterfeit money. No ship with any food or medicine could dock in Guinea. They destroyed hospitals, burned medical supplies. They destroyed the schools that they had built. They crushed the tractors and the vehicles and other mining equipments. They went as far as to cut down the telephone wires and pour concrete down into the water pipes and unscrew even the very bulbs that they had installed before they left the country. So what you're seeing now is just wolves taking off their sheep clothing because they can't have their way. What you're seeing in this video is a tantrum. It is spite. This is people who are accustomed to getting what they want, being told no, and just decided to return to their default setting, which is destruction. Now, I'm not sure if the people in the video are actually French, but I know that they are white, and they represent the attitude of the white establishment, white Western capitalism. They represent Western mentalities towards anybody with a black skin. They are no friends or partners with black people. And now that things have gotten sour, that is what they want to tell us in no uncertain terms. None of their interaction with us is never for mutual benefit, never in good faith. Whether they come as missionaries or traders or invaders, whether they come as investors or lenders, it is never to help us. It's the same thing. It is always to help themselves. For every $100 that they quote unquote invest or they lend to us, they get $10,000 in return. Now I know some of us have a hard time digesting these facts, but I can't lie to you, black people. I know many of us love France because of what we see on TV. Many people in Jamaica, black people, are carrying France in the World Cup right now. I'm not taking that from you. But personally, I find it difficult to have as my favorite team a country that has presided over the tears and death and sadness of millions of my own people for centuries, non-stop, and are very unrepentant about it. But that's me. I don't expect you to to take it that far. People like what they like. If a footballer is good, he's good. Full stop. I get it. But I'm dealing with the raw, uncomfortable facts. And the fact is that historically, and up until today, November 2022, France is and has been an evil country in Africa and to the African people. What you see in the video is exactly what is happening to Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. When your economic prosperity or success is tied to them, you have to do what they say. You have to do their bidding. You have to let them walk over you and keep your mouth shut. The only difference is that Kanye and Kyrie are being wrecked on an individual level. Burkina Faso is being wrecked At the national level, we'll only be able to protect ourselves from these things by owning our assets. We need to be economically independent. We need to pool our resources. We need to trade more with each other and build up our industries. We need to be in charge of our economy. Anything they build for us, except we pay in cash and in full, will come with all sorts of puppet strings attached. We need to build our countries, our continent, our mothership, our head office. Black people will never be safe until Africa is strong. You might be saying to yourself, what can I do? What can little me do in the scheme of things? You can start by caring. Start there. Just care. Now, before I end the video, 2 things I wanted to take away from this video. Number 1, the old colonial mentality is very much alive and well, black people. Remember that. Number 2, once you have the African blood, you have no allies. We have to stick together. No one is on our side but us. All our quote-unquote friends only smile with us to get what we have. They love our things, not us. We have to always bear that in mind. I know that there are those who would want to say it's not all of them and give them the benefit of the doubt. But that is too expensive. The last time we did that, the last time we gave them the benefit of the doubt, it cost us our civilization. It cost us our identity. And 2 million souls buried in the Atlantic Ocean. 12 million enslaved in the West, never to see their homeland again. 500 years of oppression and tyranny. 500 years of resistance. And to this day, we have not been able to regain our balance. I want you to remain vigilant, black people. Never fall asleep in the presence of these people. You can love them in the sense that they are people, they are human beings, but don't trust them. My trust is not automatic. It has to be earned. My respect is not automatic either. You have to earn it. So all hail Burkina Faso. I don't know how this will work out. I don't know the heart of the current leader. But I support his concept. The concept of taking over ownership of our assets from our enemies in our territories. I wish them Godspeed. Salute. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Remember to share the video as well and click on the like icon so that YouTube will recommend this video to other like-minded individuals. It is one of the ways of helping to spread the content. And leave me a comment, ask me a question, tell me what you want me to talk about. You can find me on Facebook as well. The name of the page is also Black is One. That link, along with my other contact information, will be in the description of this video. Long live the Black Queens and the Black Kings. Think black, love black. Black is one. Live the revolution.